Okay, it's time for another devlog. It's been a little bit. Hopefully, I always say hopefully less time, but you know, we see. Alright, so I've done a few things. I've slightly tweaked the shuttle here. I've got a test, I guess, level here. It is, it's very test. Got the old space station over there. If we're getting the chair here, you can see we've got a new dashboard. Got all these new flicky switches. Turning on the engines, you can see the power usage go up and down. Got sensors. I've also got shields. So I've got a few new things. I've moved some of the sensor stuff down here and crammed the light dimmers over there. So since I've got the shields turning on now, you can see there's kind of two separate things. We've got the shields charging up, but they're not actually on. And then you can see here, like, it's still a little bit cloudy because that indicates that they're not full charge, but that cloudiness should go away. There we go, yeah. So, yeah, and then down here, you can see we've got, we can see into the base itself. I suppose for now, I'll just leave it at this. You can see everything. There we go, you can zoom in. I added in a little zoom because, I knew that was a problem. You can see some drones over there. So, if I target one, you can see here, some sensor text. Probably doesn't need to say sensor text, but anyway. We can see kind of the stats, some of the things that are put into it. It's all very drone 1A specific stuff. It's a distance of 91 meters. That probably needs units on it. And it's got 20 out of 20 health. Now, prepared to be a little underwhelmed by the combat, but we can get a bit closer. And see if we do this. Pretty easy to defeat, not too hard. But that one wasn't even facing us. So let's get a little closer and see what happens when it's facing us. There we go, have to think about it. They're very slow. They're supposed to be 1A, they're supposed to be very basic. We can see the shields going down as we take hits. Oh, the other ones have noticed us too. Alright, cool. We can deal with some of these. So you can see the shield. Oh, no, it's targeted. Oops. There we go. Alright, cool. Alright, so it's targeted the base. Because the center of the base is there. It's considered in the hangar. Probably needed to not do that. Let's untarget that. Well, let's get rid of this one over here. Yeah, there we go. All right. Oop, still got hit. Okay, let's untarget things. So, let's see what it looks like from the outside. So the shields, for now, I've just used the same like bubble effect, or something similar to the warp effect, warp bubble. And if you're flying around, let's get out. Light little boop. Probably need some better shields there, sounds there. As you can see, when you bump into things, the shields kind of act as a bit of a buffer for hitting things, which is kind of half their intended purpose, because if we come back in here and turn the shields off, now we can go up against the wall, and now it's friction starts to play, and now it makes it much harder to actually like fly around in tight spaces. Obviously this isn't a tight space. This is a pretty big space. But once we start getting into levels like this, you kind of need your shields to actually help you navigate the space without spinning around too much. It also means when you try to land, you actually have to have your shields off, because you won't be able to land otherwise. There we go. Okay. Let's get up for now. Let's see what we've got in here. So in theory, yep, there's no gravity here, but I did put some gravity around here, and I kind of meant to get around to, in theory, your feet are kicking against the ground. There we go. Now we're in some gravity. I need to actually have like a nice little like warning zone of like gravity, watch out for gravity here. Anyway, I've got this little control room here. I've We've got this guy here called Franklin who's just staring out the window. I think there's still drones nearby. So, the vague premise is that the drones have gone crazy, as they always do. And your job is to clear out all the drones and get in there. And Franklin, for now, has locked the door. I need to have it that when you try to shoot that door, it won't open. So you need to actually have it that there's some way of showing that. But for now, it's locked. So now we need to unlock it. Current goal is to maybe make this a little more tricky. Well, to make it a little bit of a tie into some of the other early mechanics of the games, like maybe repairing a power supply or doing something really basic. Don't want to make it take too long. And once you do that, then you can power up and unlock the door. Something like that. Like for now, it's like the door is, it's keeping the drones in or something, and then it got broken. I don't know. So, we should turn on the shields. Some of these things obviously also need to be tied to a button, I think, rather than having to look over. See the doors open up, and we've got an enemy right in front of us. The targeting also needs to be way better. There we go. Because right now the targeting, it turns out it's really tricky to do good targeting. I don't know why. But yeah, trying to figure out what the best thing is, like something that's in front of you versus like off to the side. What's the closest thing that is also in front of you? All that stuff turns out to be tricky to do. So I didn't think it would be. I also tried to make it that the sensor, this field of view isn't great, but tried to make it that the sensor should always like be readjusting the size and the scope of it to keep what's targeted in view. Whoops. Alright, it's got that targeted at the moment, so you can't shoot straight. Yeah. Yep, that thing is right in front of me. You want to target the thing that's further away? Alright, let's go for the thing that's further away. They also won't turn around if you attack them. That's definitely a thing I need to figure out. Can also probably see that there's no feedback for if the shields are being hit versus your hull is being hit. So that's another thing to work out. Ooh. You can't just bump into the doors, but I just felt like shooting them instead. This in theory could be like a little boss room or something. There we go. Deal these pretty easily. This bloom is intense. Makes it very hard to see the enemy. The enemy can see me. Alright. Great. Well then. In theory this would be like, alright, cool, you did it. First room. First level dealt with. Super easy. Sensors are way too zoomed in. But we can see there's one more that's still hiding outside. So we should go deal with that. It was fun to try and make these doors. Trying to make them actually sit right. It was a bit tricky. You can see there's some Z fighting issues going on. Probably just need to make less complicated doors. I really wanted to do the iris shutter door, but using only 6 segments instead of like, I don't know how many segments a regular iris shutter would have, but a lot more. Let's deal with this last guy. Alright. So, there's no reward. Obviously, there's not really much of a game yet. I'm kind of still trying to figure out what the overall feel should be. Don't really need to land, but we do need the shields down so we can get out. There we go. I'm coming, Franklin. There we go. Thank you. All the drones are gone. You're welcome. So, also kind of working on some dialogue stuff. There's nothing else in these rooms yet. You can look out. Just working on some like sort of feedback so that the dialogue system can actually sort of poke the surrounding area. Yep, we're in no gravity now. Let's go. Can we go? Yes. I realize that there is indeed something still a bit wrong with the kinematic controller and getting into things. That's probably important to figure out. Anyway, this dashboard is clearly getting a bit messy, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. But I guess I am also figuring out all the buttons that need to be on there, which is, important. Yeah, so also this shuttle itself, in theory, is supposed to be, a shuttle. It's supposed to be for getting around, for, just transporting you between 2 points in a nice simple way. It's not supposed to be a fighter that allows you to go and fight drones and all of that. How do we go again? Oh, yep, got it. So, I'm still trying to figure that out. Trying to figure out this lighting thing here too. I did add shields real quick. Hiding in here is a little shield generator. I've got a bunch of ideas, but I don't want to make it too complicated. I just had some fun with some materials. I think the one thing I probably also want to show is that you can destroy just one part of an enemy. So I think I'll show that. Okay, so this is back in Unity. I've got the starboard weapon selected on the drone that's immediately in front of the player, and I can just manually deal some damage to it, just so we can really focus on it. So if we turn on everything, target that, we can see, actually I'll zoom in, can see that this drone now has nothing in the starboard weapon ports. In theory we can also disable its eyes. Sounds a bit much, but we can destroy the sensors in there, destroy the engine, and then that will also affect how it behaves. So we can see here it's only got one weapon now, which makes it a bit less dangerous. So yeah, that's all good. No, so that seems to all be working. Probably there's tweaks to be done there, but I'll also show you just one of these drones up close on their own. Alright, so I'm in an empty scene. I've just got the drone spawned in here in a empty universe with a light. To sort of show that there's a little bits here where the actual sensors are hiding behind these eye covers. These weapons here are attached to these little hard points, and they can only really rotate them up and down. So, how do I go up? No? Oh, there we go. Forget how my own controls. And then hiding in here is the power supply for it, and then up the back is the engines. So in theory there's also an energizer hiding in there, but I haven't really made a button for opening up the back of the drone one weapon. I've definitely got a bunch of ideas for how I want to handle drones. This is obviously supposed to be a really weak drone, but I kind of want to have it that these parts can fly off. You can target them independently. You can potentially capture one, make use of it, sell it, do whatever. So yeah, it took a little bit of time to get this one to this point, but honestly, most of the time was actually coding it to get the get it so it could spin and face you and do all of that mostly correctly. And it still kind of does a lot of overcorrecting when it turns to face you. Close that. My goal is to have it, you should also be able to have about 1,000 enemies on screen at once, and the game should still run. Not that I actually want to have it that you would ever face 1,000 enemies at once, but that would be the performance hit threshold, I feel would be good. That if it can do that, it'd still be playable, then that means the tens of enemies that should be on screen at once should be a total non-issue. That's my goal. So far I've had it where it's still mostly playable with about 200, but it's still pretty chuggy at 200, so hopefully one day can have more than that. Also, yes, this is heavily inspired by Descent 1 and 2 kind of for the enemy designs. I'm trying not to rip them off entirely, but yeah, anyway, I know I'll probably be a bit busy and won't be able to do too many more work on it so much in the next few months, which is unfortunate because I'm starting to get somewhere, but there's still so many things to do. You need a reason to go to mines, you need a reason to fight enemies, The way I'm handling dialogue does need a bit of a rework. The way I'm handling dialogue scripts. Could probably bring that over, actually. So, like, you can see the asteroid base Franklin script is very simple. Basically, it just gets the minimum distance of the nearest drone within 250 units or meters, and then it just has some different, state conditionals. So, like, I've got this working, but I need to handle it better still. So, yeah. Anyway, here's to seeing you in the next one. Bye.